Court Vision is back in session.
Welcome to Court Vision from New Roads Media.
Hello. We are back to recap the second round of the playoffs, and then we're going to do our conference finals predictions. If you're not interested in that, why are you watching?
We'll wait. We'll give you time to go. Don't worry. We'll wait.
That's just logically how this goes. We just did the first round. Obviously, we're going to do the second. Come on. What's wrong with you? But stay anyway because it's good for the YouTube algorithm. Anyway, let's kick things off with there were 0 sweeps in the second round, which is, not to be expected. Let's start off, though, with Timberwolves Warriors. Timberwolves won the series 4-1. The hopes that they had left of the Warriors was dashed very quickly with the injury of Steph Curry. So, that team just couldn't really piece it together after the injury. I think they did win the one game after but no, that was the first game they won, right? But they just that team just couldn't rally really around it. Playoff Jimmy didn't really show up, but also that team's just they were missing a big. So we shall see what happens moving forward with that team. What's your guys' thought on the series? We'll start with you, Tommy. I think you. I don't think any of us would be surprised, but I don't know. I want to hear your guys' thoughts.
I'm not really that surprised. This is a team that is, mostly older. Injuries, tend to catch up to players that are, old. I don't know what else to say. I don't even know if the Warriors could have lasted 7 games against the Timberwolves, even with Steph Curry, but that's one of those big what ifs.
Isn't Steph like my age?
He's like,
I don't think you can single-handedly beat the Minnesota Timberwolves either, Kilroy. If that's your bar for young, sorry, dude.
What if I could?
I'd be very, very impressed.
Me too.
It's not that you're old; it's that you're old for basketball.
It's that you're old for being one of the 5 greatest shooters of all time.
Oh no, he's actually way older than I thought.
Kilroy, you could take him one-on-one. You heard it here first. Kilroy announced it.
Yep, my 5'9" against the 6'2" Steph Curry, who's in shape. The only shape I am is round.
You heard it here first. Kilroy can take Kendrick Perkins first to 7.
If the guy's like a foot taller than me, how do you expect me to take him? And he's probably like 100 pounds on me. He's a big dude.
Hey, it's good for the algorithm.
You know what? If you set it up somehow, I would gladly play a game of horse against Kendrick Perkins, and just to see how badly I would get destroyed.
Okay. All right. He would probably say you have to match style and then just dunk, but we'll see.
You got to make one shot, buddy. That's all you need to win is one shot.
That's true.
I get the ball first, and I'm just chucking up threes.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if you get really good at the over the head free throw, you could take them. Just keep right over, no look right over the head every time. You got him.
If we do to 21 and it's full court, I think I probably have better stamina than him.
The plan is to try and gas Kendrick Perkins. All right, I like this strategy. Let's go. If you miss once, the game is over.
Absolutely.
But if you can just go 21 up and down, you got him. Oh man.
Anyway. That's how much we care about this series.
Yeah.
It's not. I don't think any of us are surprised.
No, I listen. I had this one, and here's what I will say. Here's something that I'm sad Kevin's not on the show yet. He's coming in a little bit, but he would be proud of me for this. Hey, credit to Chris Finch. I'm going to talk a lot about coaching tonight, and I think it's time we finally admit that he figured out how to make this team work. Now, it definitely helps that Anthony Edwards. You guys know I tend to be the last guy to catch on to something. I'll keep picking the same team to win every year, and then they'll get old before I have time to get off that train. But I was on the Anthony Edwards, superstardom train this year. I thought this was his breakout. And you know how I feel about the NBA. Superstars only win this league. And with Anthony Edwards, to me, at this point, I don't know if the East really has a chance following that mold. We'll talk more about that later. But I at this point, consider SGA and Anthony Edwards your two superstars left in this conversation. No offense, Jalen Brunson, but Anthony Edwards is on just a different plane of superstardom right now. And so, especially with the injuries, I'm with you. This wasn't a surprise once that happened. But, for a team that we always wondered kind of how would they balance it out, 2 major trades in back-to-back seasons, could they figure out how to effectively use Rudy Gobert? Could they figure out, kind of a makeshift bench? Listen, it works. It works in Minnesota, and you got to give at least a little credit to Chris Finch there.
Yeah, no, he's done a fantastic job being able to keep this team motivated, right, as well. We'll continue to see how they play moving forward. They do have their hands full with the Thunder, who, so we shall see. I'm curious how that series is going to go, to be honest. I think that there is a good chance that Anthony Edwards does just take over the series. And he just elevates himself even further into stardom, like you're talking about. I think it will be quite the spoilers. Thunder won. So
isn't spoiling me. I do that.
Thank you, Kevin. But we were going over the Timberwolves Warriors, and that was the first one we talked about. But anyway,
gotcha.
Yeah. So I definitely think that he has as long as he there's no, not just him, the teams, either teams, any major injury, I do feel like the Timberwolves are positioned themselves very well. And it's nice to see that Julius Randle is able to be helpful to this team. He, Kevin loves him and will always, consider him a great Knick, but he's no longer with us on the team. He's alive.
Yeah. Let's clarify.
Good save, buddy. You're doing great over there.
Anyway, let's talk Thunder Nuggets.
Thunder Nuggets.
This is the only series I went to
Game 7.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, yeah, it was a Game 7. Only series I went to Game 7. Aaron Gordon probably shouldn't have been playing based off of his what type of injury he had.
Jokic told him not to play, and he played.
Maybe that's what happens when you know the coach. Yeah, maybe that's why fire a coach Game 78. Just something to think about in the grand scheme of things.
Game 7. Yeah, coaching is actually important when you get to Game 7. Also,
Doc Rivers knows that.
Michael Porter Jr. just not playing well this year. I didn't hear what you said. I'm just ignoring it.
I said I'm sure Doc Rivers is well aware of that.
Ooh, none of us are offended.
Ooh.
Even if Jeff was here, Jeff would be like, "Yeah,
no, that's fair."
Jeff would probably agree.
But yeah, no, I'm not totally surprised that they lost the Game 7. Aaron Gordon was playing hurt. Michael Porter Jr. just hasn't shown up this season for the most part. Murray is been very inconsistent all year. And yes, he does have his big games typically in the playoffs. And,
he wasn't healthy either, though, in fairness.
Right. If you're going to foul Joker, all the time, it's hard for him to establish some sort of rhythm. And I think he sat. I saw something where he sat the last 12 minutes or something.
That's true. They didn't. They barely ever played in the fourth quarter. Basically, what happened was Denver raced out to a 21-10 lead, and then at that point, they just started turning the ball over. It got so bad in the first half that the Thunder were able to overcome that 10-21 start and lead by 14 at halftime. And I wrote the 2 words in my notebook, just like Greg Easterbrook, game over. As soon as I saw that lead go to 14, I'm like, they're not coming back from this. Because you saw you saw something similar from last year, although last year was worse, where Denver had a 20-point lead in Game 7 in the third quarter and lost. So as soon as I saw that Denver already had an 11-point lead and already coughed it up before halftime, yeah, I saw that they weren't going to come back in this game, especially with all those live ball turnovers that the Thunder kept converting into points. That part was really hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I had Minnesota going to the championship. Spoiler for my prediction coming up here. But I had Denver in this series, and I don't feel bad about that. I mean, they went to 7 games. 2 of their big 3 were injured. But at the end of the day, I mean, the Thunder are a very deep team. And if you want to beat them, you need to be able to go the distance with them. And, you know, I chalk it up to the chaos in the coaching staff. But I mean, you know, for all the nonsense the Knicks get, Denver's 3 highest minute totals this playoff so far, that average is higher than the Knicks. The Knicks are actually 3rd. The Lakers' big 3 are actually higher too. So, I mean, Denver tried to just use their starting 5 and just outgas arguably the deepest team in the league. That's not a formula for success. And you got to wonder how much of that was unfamiliarity with, you know, the depth of Denver's team, given, you know, again, the sort of lack of leadership there. But if you're going to beat a team like the Thunder, you're going to need to get creative. You're going to need second gears, third gears. And if you're only using the same 5 guys, you know, over and over and over for 7 games, you're never going to find that gear. So, I mean, it was definitely a mismanaged game in that sense. And also when 2 guys are already injured and you're using extreme minutes. I mean, Aaron Gordon was 4th on their team in minutes, but he was something like 23rd overall, you know, average minutes played in these playoffs. 4 Nuggets are in the top 23, top 24 in minutes played this playoffs. That's incredible considering 2 of those 4 guys, like I said, are not healthy. It wasn't sustainable, and they just ran out of gas in Game 7.
Yeah. I mean, it's unfortunate, but not a total surprise, right? So let's give our predictions for the Western Conference Finals, and then we'll move east. Mongo?
Sure. I mean, because I already gave it away, right? I'm sticking with the Timberwolves. I think, like I said, I think if you want to beat the Thunder, you can't let it turn into a complete, long-term battle. So you got to try and take them out before 7. And I think the Timberwolves are good enough to do that. I'll take the Timberwolves in 6.
Tommy?
I've got OKC in 6. I think
Kevin.
that. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I didn't know you were going to continue.
No. Go ahead.
That's why there was just a big pause. That's why I continued.
No, go ahead.
No,
all right.
You say what you got to say.
The Thunder were my pick to make it to the finals.
Not you, Kevin. Not you.
Sorry.
I just really like this Thunder team. I think that SGA is really great. Now, the big wrench in all this is Anthony Edwards is on fire. So it could very easily be a Minnesota win in the series. So take my pick with a grain of salt.
All right, now you can go, Kevin.
Okay, sorry about that. I'll take yours and just toss it all over the place. I'm also going Thunder in 6. What surprised me was that like the Timberwolves didn't sweep the Warriors when Curry was injured and they somehow managed to lose that game. That told me something. I do think the Thunder being deeper, better is going to play a role here. And I'm going to even give you hyper specific. I'm going to say Thunder win Game 5 on the road and close it out at Game 6 at home.
Didn't the Warriors win Game 1 when Curry played?
The Warriors won Game 1. That told me.
Yeah.
That surprised me when that happened. That's why I was like, there's something off with Minnesota. So had Minnesota swept that series like I thought they would have after that injury, my prediction might have been a little bit different. But I after seeing that, I feel confident with Thunder in 6.
I got this. I got this, Kilroy. Kevin, Kilroy is saying that what you just said is mathematically impossible because you said swept after the injury, but the Warriors had already won a game by the time the injury occurred. No. Is what he is saying. The sweep was not on the table, is what he's saying.
He was hurt in Game 1, but it was the end of.
I thought the Curry injury happened in Game 1.
Yes, but it was by the time after the injury would define Game 2 and forward when they were already down 1-0 is what Kilroy is saying.
Curry played most of game one, right? Like, and Curry, like, the whole team was like rallying around it. And then he got hurt in like the third or fourth quarter.
No, I thought it was the second quarter he got hurt. Like, I thought there was time for Minnesota to win that game.
I don't know.
And
Whatever. I don't know.
That was my point.
He still played. So, but anyway, they swept once he was out.
Yeah, right. Regardless, the whole point there, it's really hard to absolutely guarantee what's going to happen after a major injury in a game, because that wasn't what the game plan was, right? You planned for Steph Curry. Your defensive matchups, your offensive strategy was assuming they were going to be chucking threes, right? Yes, the Warriors get worse, but it's not easy for either team to make those in-game adjustments. The Warriors actually probably have the advantage there because the Warriors are used to their old guys missing games, right? And so I get that it's a very, very moot point. We're cherry picking one thing Kevin said here, but if there's any game I could forgive them for losing, it would be the chaos of one where a star goes out halfway through the game.
Yeah.
I think I know what Kevin's saying though. The fact that the Warriors were beating the Timberwolves in game one, and it took a Steph Curry injury to propel the Timberwolves.
I'm not surprised at all by that, right? Because they're the veteran team. Yes, the Timberwolves were at the Western Conference Finals the year before, but they did get Jimmy Butler, and that team was on quite the roll with Jimmy Butler once Jimmy Butler came to the Warriors. Like, if the Warriors stayed healthy, that would have probably been a 7-game series, and I would not have been surprised if the Warriors won it. But the fact that Steph Curry got out in game one and was not expected to be back until game 6 at the earliest, I think is what they were saying.
Yeah,
I'm not surprised. At the earliest. I have, as I was trying to say, Mongo convinced me. Then during the first round, I'm going Timberwolves, baby.
Everybody on the Anthony Edwards train, let's go.
I have dreams and aspirations for this finals, and I'm excited.
Here's the glory of the Timberwolves winning this series. Rudy Gobert, one of two things happens. Either Rudy Gobert becomes easily the most hated man in New York for 2 weeks, or Timberwolves Pacers is the most boring finals in the history of the sport and one of the lowest rated of all time. So either way, we're going to have a lot of fun at Rudy Gobert's expense.
Either way, it's going to be a party. All right, let's go east. We'll start with the disappointing Cavaliers getting beat by the Pacers.
The fraudulent Cavaliers?
I mean, I think someone said that the Pacers would get this far.
Mongo was on this all year.
Tommy was on. I mean, I was on it with the Cavs being a fraud, but Tommy was on it with me with the Pacers on this one for sure.
Yes. Well, I don't remember who I said. I think I might have also said the Cavs, the Pacers, but I also don't think I had the Cavs advancing to begin with.
Oh, yeah.
Oh no, I didn't have the Pacers advancing. Whatever, it doesn't matter.
You had the Bucks. You had the Bucks advancing,
and I still would if it wasn't for the fact that Doc Rivers coached them. And Darvin Ham.
Which I think is the point here, right? This no disrespect to the Pacers, they'll get their laurels here in a minute, but this was more about none of us trusting the Cavs, and I still don't, and I never did, and I never will. I mean, they're on a long list of teams that, there's a reason that certain teams, there's a reason that not every team emulates the teams that win the most games in the regular season, right? Because the teams that, especially nowadays, tend to win are just trying to survive the regular season, right? They know they have a plan for the playoffs. The Cavs seem to put all their cards out on the table like week 2, like this is who we are, right? Especially when they went on that winning streak, kind of second, third of the season, and that gave teams a lot of time to fit, a lot of time to figure them out. And, they never seemed to offer anything different. They made, DeAndre Hunter at the trade deadline. He's a nice piece, but he wasn't an earth mover. And, even he, exactly what you're getting with him. So, I mean, well, he adds, some nice depth and some nice defense to take arguably the most predictable team in basketball and just add one of the most, no offense to him, because I don't mean this word insultingly, but for the purpose of the conversation, vanilla player in Hunter.
I was thinking that word.
Right. He is. He's you know exactly what you're getting every single time. I mean, he's very easy to figure out how to, no one saw that and went, we need to plan differently. They added him into the plan for about 2 minutes and said, okay, we got this. So, they're going to have to kind of figure out in the offseason, where is that X factor? Where is that razzle dazzle? And they've had some young guys who, look like they might have a shot at making that step. Even just a guy who can just come in, and just microwave offense the heck out of the team, just all of a sudden go on his own little 12-2 run in the second. Like some of these other teams have. Golden State with Pods, for example. Peyton Pritchard seems to shoot the ball from 90 feet at least once a game for Boston. Cleveland doesn't really seem to have that guy, at least, not on the same national scale that some of those guys are. So, I think for Cleveland, less is more this offseason. Don't go blowing anything up. Don't go making major moves. But you need to add a little bit of depth and shake up that bench a little bit to make it at least a little bit more challenging to figure out.
Yeah. No,
how
mean,
much do you,
no,
how
I,
much
all I
do
was
you
gonna
think
say is
Kenny
I don't think
Atkins?
that this team was
Sorry.
gonna do anything, and I'm not surprised. They changed coach, but the team itself was a team that was not built to win in the playoffs, right? Like they didn't. It was last year the Knicks, right? Played them
2 years ago. 2 years
Sorry,
ago, they
2 years
failed
ago,
against the
whatever.
Knicks.
and they were hired. They were expected to be, and the Knicks kind of just embarrassed them. It wasn't really, but anyway, I don't think that this team. I'm not sure what this team needs to do. I don't think blowing it up is necessary, but I'm not sure that I'm not sure what they can do other than they have to look internally at their people, and they have to come to some sort of way to propel themselves once they get into the playoffs.
I will say that whatever player or players they target this offseason, hopefully they have better intelligence and cool to not react to a sucker punch like Hunter did to Mathurin. And that's all I'll say about that. I do think what was interesting in this series is I don't know that Kenny Atkinson is getting as much blame as a coach would normally get in this situation. I know he's a first-time coach this year, a head coach for the Cavaliers. This is his first season with Cleveland, and I believe this is his first time coaching in the playoffs, if I remember correctly.
But don't worry, he is very well known for his Atkins diet.
Very funny, har. But I think with all the other factors, I'm wondering if Kenny Atkinson is getting a pass through some of these failures where other coaches, now obviously Doc Rivers would not be getting a pass, but just in general, in terms of other head coaches might be getting more blame. But I'm not hearing on the street, off the street, on the internet, whatever. I'm not hearing a lot of blame going around to Kenny Atkinson. So I'm just wondering.
They're taking the injury approach, right? Like that the Pacers beat them up, and that they're just saying, it's because our team wasn't fully healthy.
Which is not the approach to be taken here.
At the same time, though, I mean, sorry, I was just Googling real quick to make sure I have this timeline correct. Kenny Atkinson is your coach of the year, guys. I mean, it's one thing to say, regular season versus, playoffs, you got to get it done. But it's not like this has been a 7-8 year, futility run for Atkinson. I mean, he got there, he won coach of the year. And
imagine if they fired him, though.
I mean, listen, coaches of the year have come and gone quickly before, but at the same time.
He was fired earlier this season.
My man, Sacramento Kings, baby, what up? No, I mean, look, he has a ring as an assistant coach in Golden State, working with Draymond, working with the big names there. He was there when all hell broke loose in Brooklyn, right? I mean, this is a guy who is known for not shying away from the adversity. And so if you're at a little bit of a crossroads here, where you got to say, we got to come back. We got to, be better. Like Kevin said about our discipline, we got to shake up some things on our bench. But most importantly, we have to avoid, like, next year's the important year, right? Because if you become that team that is the 1 seed every year, and, that's how you become Peyton Manning for a few years, right? He had to shake that demon of being the 1 seed every year and couldn't, get over the hump. That's how you become the Phil Mickelson of the sport, right? And so, And so they have next year's the really important one. So not to say I can defend giving him a pass, but you can merit why in the grand scheme of what he accomplished this year, what his track record says, and where it would become a problem. I think multiple conference regular season championships, that yield nothing. And again, to me, if they go to the finals next year and lose to the Thunder in 6, like that's not a failure. Like at least getting back to where you are. But if you're the 1 seed, you should not be just getting straight up beat up. I mean, because that's effectively what happened here. This is not like the Pacers, had some sort of magical run where they were shooting 70% from the field, or they won with a crazy 3, like how, LeBron beating the Magic 15 years ago. Like this was just a straight up shellacking against a team that they are statistically supposed to be better than. And I get that they couldn't figure out the Pacers all season, but that you can blame on Kenny Atkinson. You got to figure out a way to get past them. Go ahead, Kevin. I know you love this stat. You can take it.
So the Cleveland Cavaliers lost 10 games at home combined, regular season and playoffs. 5 of them were to those Pacers. That's something they're going to have to overcome, or else they're going to end up like the 2000 Pistons in such a way that they're going to keep changing coaches with the same group every 2 years. Or so it seems.
All right, let's get to the important matchup. The Knicks, Celtics. Knicks win in 6. I'm happy that they won. I'll say this. Seeing how poorly the Celtics shot from 3, I am not surprised the Knicks won the series. I am surprised the Knicks won the series based off of what was going into the series. Does that make sense?
Barely,
Yes.
but I want to play a new segment on this show.
Sure.
All right, guys. The new segment is called Quote the Raven Fan. I'm going to tell you something Gilroy said, and I'm going to leave out a word or a phrase, and you tell me what that phrase is. This comes from May 1st, the night that they beat Detroit. So this is the night they advanced into the Boston round. And he said, still not thrilled, and they definitely should look into a blank this offseason. Who's got it?
I do.
Kevin,
Coach.
Tommy says coach. Kevin, what do you say?
I think it's Coach.
I also think it's Coach.
It is a coaching change this offseason.
I still think so, no matter what. I'm not sold on Tom.
This is outrageous.
No.
He hates Tom Thibodeau.
This is outrageous.
Insane.
At this point.
Insane. He hates Tom Thibodeau.
I do
And
not.
yes, I'm
hate
pointing
him.
in the right square.
We're sending you a LeBron James bobblehead of Tom Thibodeau.
Hold on. Let me at least say what I have to say.
Defend yourself.
I'm sticking with this shtick until the season's over.
At least he owns it. At least he owns it for the algorithm. Take that, YouTube.
No, obviously, in reality, I really am. He to me did redeem himself in this series. He did
Big time.
not. He did not flub it. He could have after the major injury to why am I blanking on his name?
Tatum.
Jason Tatum.
Thank you, Tatum.
Oh, you're talking about the Jason Tatum injury. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And Jason Tatum, we hope you get better.
Yes, you hate to see it. You really do. I mean, there some people love to see it, but those are bad people. In general, he could have just, not taken it seriously enough, or just whatever. I don't know, but I'm glad that that the team was able to win. It's 25 years since the last time, or something ridiculous like that. That's the Knicks got to the Eastern Conference Finals.
2000 was the last time they were in the Eastern Conference Finals.
25 years ago. Yep, like I said.
Gilroy.
So it's
I
nice
remember. I
that
watched it.
2.5 decade streak has ended. I was to put that in perspective, I was 10 years old the last time the Knicks made the Eastern Conference Finals, which means Kevin was 15. Sorry, 14.
No, I was.
No, you just turned 15. You
Eastern
just
Conference
turned 15.
Finals 2000. No, I was already 16.
You were born in oh yeah. Because
I was born in 1984. I'm now 41.
I didn't. I keep because my age because I would have been 11 in September. Anyway, that's irrelevant at this point.
But thank you for underguessing my age.
All right. Yeah, sure. That's what happened. Not me forgetting when my birthday is. Anyway, so it's nice that streak got broken. What was it? Since Jalen Brunson came to the Knicks have won 21 playoff games. And in the past 20 years before that, the Knicks only won 8 or something ridiculous like that.
That stat sadly sounds about right. I remember reading that same stat you just mentioned.
So does that mean Jalen Brunson deserves a statue? I think he does. No one else thinks Jalen Brunson deserves a statue? Okay.
You listen
in
New York.
Give him a statue after he gets a ring.
Correct. The only one reason you got a statue in New York.
I don't know, man. It's been 53 years. 52. Sorry.
No. It's the ring that matters. Okay, the ring. No ring, no statue.
Whatever.
Listen, Charles Oakley took them to the brink of a championship every single year, and the man's not even allowed in Madison Square Garden. Don't tell me anyone on any other iteration of an era belongs.
Wait. So my big hope is the Knicks win, and Dolan then is so happy that the value is up, he finally sells the team.
Oh, I'm okay with that. I thought you were going to say pardons Charles Oakley, but I'll take sells the team even better because I'm assuming anyone else would let Charles Oakley back in.
Yeah, pretty much.
As long as it ends with Charles Oakley courtside, I really don't care what happens.
Can we retire his number so no one else can get it?
What's a new and retired number?
Just hang it up on my wall here.
Well, in fact, you know what? We're going to officially here today, I'm decreeing we are at whatever my show is called.
Love it.
Thank you.
That's how you affect the algorithm.
Yep, officially retiring Charles Oakley's number with New Roads Media. So no one in New Roads Media is allowed to wear the number 34 moving forward.
Oh, that's a problem. I might have a 34 jersey. I'll have to double check.
I'm just receiving an angry telegram from Eddie Curry saying he would like his number back.
Oh, him? No, I don't have an Eddie Curry jersey. No, I don't have. But he's
we knew, Kilroy matching Eddie Curry's for life, baby. We'll have to post it. We'll have to post it next episode. There's actually a picture from Kilroy's wedding of me and him in our matching Eddie Curry jerseys at his reception. We'll have to post that sometime for the loyal fans out there. A little hometown treat right there.
Well, we need to figure out how to get Dan superimposed into there as well.
This is fair. We'll have to get Eddie Curry superimposed in there.
We purchased our buddy Dan. I purchased 3 Eddie Curry jerseys for the 3 of us. Why is a great question.
I don't know. I love it. It's a great jersey.
I think it were like $10 each, and that's part of why I did it.
The number of people who have said to me "nice Oakley jersey" as they approach me is insane. By the way, in case you're a tiny bit younger than us and want to know what my obsession with Charles Oakley is, the fact that nobody can identify an Eddie Curry jersey as an Eddie Curry jersey because their head goes right to Charles Oakley is.
I mean, it really is
as
weird
it
that
should.
But anyway, yeah, no, I mean, no one should remember Eddie Curry was a Knick. There's a chance Eddie Curry doesn't.
That's fair. Those from dark times. Dark times for him. Dark times for the Knicks. Dark times for everybody. That was just
dark
not
times
good.
For everyone here who watched that trade go down.
Whoops.
I mean, we were excited at the moment. We just didn't know it was gonna. Okay, whatever. Most normal people were excited in the moment. No one knew it was going to be this big of a flounder.
A lot of us thought it would flounder, but not that bad.
The Jerome James signing before it was a little weird, but you know.
This is fair.
Anyway, that's
sorry
all
for that tangent, everyone.
They didn't make a lot of sense.
Yeah, we digress. No, but listen. Back to trying to get this on conversation because I know we got to wrap up soon here. Listen, shout out to Tibbs. I think really the sort of gut check of all of this is listen. Game 5 that's not easy to come back from, because you basically have them dead to rights. They are, they are without their star at that point. You are, you literally have them cornered, and to let them have one, that's the last thing you do when the quote favorite, when the quote veteran team is all but done. The last thing you do is give them a tiny spark. The worst thing you can do is give a team like that momentum, and that's exactly what you did by letting them have one more win. And so that could have got ugly. That could have got real dangerous, especially if it goes to 7. But they came out, they took care of business. In a series where they themselves had some wacky comebacks, they made sure to leave no doubt in that game. And that takes community. That takes investment into what you're trying to get done. And so, listen, don't get me wrong, great series from a whole lot of players. But this thing was navigated beautifully, not giving up when they were down big, but putting nails in coffins when they were up big. That's what you got to do to be that level of relentless you need to be a champion.
Absolutely. And I will give Tibbs credit, right? Because Game 5, terrible officiating. The Knicks should have
5
won
fouls,
that game.
Jalen Brunson, third quarter.
Bad officiating. I still don't even understand how the back whatever that not backcourt violation, but the guy was. I don't understand how that was a call. He was on the correct side when he caught the ball. The player was what happened was this is the second quarter. The Knicks were inbounding. The Knicks get up the court. They're on the correct side, and a player on the wrong side catches the ball in the air and lands on the correct side. And they call that a not backcourt violation, whatever the hell it's called. And I'm like, I don't even understand how that he didn't have the ball in possession on the wrong side of the court. How can you say that? And that was just frustrating. I'm sorry. Not sorry.
It's a weird thing to be grumpy about, but you do you, Kilroy.
No, I'm not grumpy about it. What I'm saying is I'm happy that Tom did not let that get to him. Not that particular play. The poor officiating of that game get to him, and he was able to rally himself and this team to a successful Game 6 victory, which they needed. And it wasn't a close game. It was a thumping. It was a 38 point victory. So yay.
Tied a record.
I am happy. I am concerned about the fact that they have to play the bully Pacers, who are going to try to beat the living hell out of the Knicks. So even if the Knicks advance, they'll be like half the team going into the finals is my concern. But I am excited. I would hopefully be able to watch the games because if the game's on ESPN, I can't.
I think some of the games are on TNT
this year.
Yeah, no, I couldn't watch Game 6 because it's ESPN, and I was very mad.
Somebody out there buy Kilroy ESPN. Just throwing it out there.
Yeah.
This is the first ever go fund him from my dining room.
Or pay for his trip to the bar so he can watch it at the bar.
Or pay for his trip to Indiana.
I don't know. That's too close to Pat McAfee.
Or at least get him a Tyson Chandler jersey so he can match with the Eddie Curry.
What a wonderful draft! But Eddie Curry just goes into bad situations where there's already another center.
Hey, listen, he knows what he's good at. I don't know what to tell you.
He's really good at holding the ball down by his belly and then getting it stripped as he tries to do anything with it.
He was a fantasy nightmare for owners and a fantasy dream for opponents.
This is fair.
I mean, yeah. Anyway, let's talk Eastern Conference Finals.
Oh, thank God.
What's your prediction there, Tommy?
I have Knicks in 6. And, given that I have predicted OKC making it to this finals, I would like to say there is a slim possibility of a replay of the 99 NBA Finals here. Where the Knicks finally make it to the finals and then a new team beats the brakes off of them.
Yeah. We know your Spurs did it.
Yeah, but that was a strike-shortened season. You guys got lucky.
Oh, get out.
Wow.
This short.
They won several more titles, Kilroy. I wouldn't call that.
No. I don't know what you're talking about. Never happened.
Then the cycle starts all over again. The Knicks are bad again. You guys have to wait another 20 years.
You bite your tongue.
I want to win a little bit sooner than that.
Seriously though, I am rooting for the Knicks here. I would like to see the Knicks finally break this curse they're in. And
who's going next?
Who's going next?
Who's going next?
I'm gonna say Kevin.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna say the Knicks are gonna win Game 7 at home. I think that the Pacers aren't going to necessarily bully the Knicks as much as try to outrun the Knicks. But I think
they're going to physically attack them.
I think in the end, the Knicks will find a way.
Halliburton with a hammer.
Aside from Mathurin, who's been known to punch people in the chest at random times.
There's
another Mathurin reference out there. I do think the Knicks will find a way to make the adjustments needed in this series. And I do think the Knicks will win this series in Game 7 at home.
So I mean, Mathurin one of Kevin's new villains.
Last year, the Knicks were very close to beating the Pacers, and the Knicks were missing like half their roster.
No starter finished the season last year.
Different season, but the Knicks seemed to be healthy going into this. They were not healthy going into the series last year.
That alone is part of the reason why I think the Knicks will pull it out in 7 games. A little bit more help.
I'm going to let Mongo finish it. I have Knicks winning the series. I'm not going to give games because I don't do that shit. I mean stuff. Family show.
Whoops.
Right.
Whoops.
All right, Mongo, wrap this up.
For shame.
So, first of all, I just very quickly need to say
that another quote of mine.
Those 99 finals could have been a best of 29, and the Knicks were not getting a 4th win.
Let's be honest. The Knicks got lucky. It was a strike-shortened season. They were able to get as far as they did.
Correct. There was no luck involved other than for the Knicks. But now, with that being said, listen, if I'm wrong on this, I think it's pretty easy for me to justify because listen, I think the Pacers are the better team. I think they are the deeper team. I think they have a little bit more variance when it comes to finding ways to grit out wins. But at the end of the day, you're starting to it's hard to look away. It's hard to just turn off your eyes and ignore the team of destiny situation. We're starting to see here. I was at the Yankee game a couple Wednesdays ago when the Knicks made that big comeback. And it was a wild moment. It was when the Yankees were playing the Padres. People in the suites started turning on the Knick game, and people in the second deck who could see the suites turned their back on the game and started watching the Knicks. And the Knicks actually won. The clock hit 0 as the Padres were taking the lead in the 8th inning, like instantaneously. And the crowd went nuts. And even Tim Hill, the pitcher for the Yankees, kind of looked around like, what on earth just happened? Michael Catta talked about it apparently in the commentary, and it was wild. It was an absolute bonkers moment. But it's rare. I mean, it's maybe
such a Yankees moment,
right? But it's such a Knick moment too. I mean, how rarely do we get to see this town start to rally and you start to believe? And listen, New York has every right to be a broken sports town the last 30 years. We've seen a lot of heartbreak, and so when you start to feel it, when you start to see everyone else kind of recognizing it, it's hard to go against it. And so, listen, I think the Pacers are better, but there's something special here. And I'm going to say it's over. Light the cigar, baby. Knicks in 5. Let's do it. Knicks in 5. You heard it here first.
As a chocolate-covered pretzel.
Light it up.
Because it's a family show.
Because it's a family show, and we all know not to curse or use alcohol or tobacco on it, right?
No one knows what's in my cup.
It
could be Baja Blast, and it will definitely be Baja Blast if Mountain Dew sponsors us. I'm also a fan of Coke Zero.
Only if Seal makes an appearance on the show.
I just thought of that Seal commercial. Thank you very much.
I will wear branded Coke or Mountain Dew memorabilia if either of you two fine companies decide to sponsor us.
Joey, did you make your prediction on this series yet?
You made a prediction for
I
the
said the
Knicks, but you
Knicks.
didn't tell us the number of games.
I don't tell the names, remember?
Yes, you
I
do.
don't know. I don't remember.
I don't tell the
Mr.
games.
Charm remembers.
I don't tell the games. I said numbers. The numbers. I don't tell the names is what I said, but I meant to say I don't say the numbers.
Yeah. And I
But yeah,
just don't
I have
remember
the
that.
Knicks
Sorry.
winning, and I want, and the NBA needs Wolves Knicks finals.
Yeah, that'd be great. Actually, I'm okay with that. Honestly, they really just don't need the Pacers more than anything.
Yeah,
I
know
will
what?
say this. I will
So
say
the
this about
Pacers
the
are
final.
never allowed
I don't think
to win
Larry
finals
Bird would
because
watch.
They'll be too boring. Okay.
I will say this about the final four teams. The Knicks in the final streak continues since 1947. Every NBA finals has had a current, former, or future Knick in the finals. So, and the streak will continue this year because we're spread out.
It's actually crazy that more teams aren't having a streak like this.
In
It
fairness,
probably is.
There's
and
only
you're
so many
not
teams.
looking into it
and there's like-
correct.
It's like the same players.
because we're adding in future Knicks here. Like, what are we saying? Chet Holmgren's a future Knick.
Or Isaiah
Hartenstein.
Hartenstein, the guy who's just on the Knicks.
I know. I was providing a general example.
But
You
I mean, look, LeBron James covers about a decade for Cleveland on his own. Like, I think we're just not doing the research on because again, it's don't get me wrong, it's very cool that they're the Knicks are whatever 77 for 77. But like until you tell me that there aren't 8 other teams that are like 75 for 77, it's not that impressive of a stat.
I'm
The
sure
Wizards have the last
Lake-
8 years and they stink.
I'm sure the Lakers have had a player in a finals for like the past 30 years
The
as
Lakers
well.
have the
Mon-
Lakers and Celtics, right? They have to be as well, right?
The
Mongo
Celtics have
mentioned-
13 on their own.
Mongo mentioned 32 for the Lakers. So make this a challenge for our listeners. Try to see if they can come up with the second most appearances.
Kevin with his first outsource. We've been doing the show for 4.5 years, and Kevin finally outsourced an assignment.
I'm going on vacation in a week and a half. I have to do.
Well,
other
you have a
things.
week and a half to do the work.
Oh,
Earn
Why
that
not?
vacation, Kev. Earn that vacation.
All right, you heard it here, folks. Comment down below whatever Kevin said. I don't know.
How bogus
Specifically
is this
what
stat?
Kevin said.
That's
Write down
what I
what
wanna
Kevin
know.
said in the comments below. Because we don't know.
No, I
Okay.
said he said
who is the number? The Knicks have been in every finals matchup somehow, some way, shape, or form. Find the team that's got the second most appearances, current,
That's a
former,
reasonable.
or future,
I'm
whatever.
with that.
we
That's a
can't
smart
do
ball
good.
idea.
We got a claim on the text thread that Lakers have 32. Go, listeners. Go watchers. Go find it.
I said it's at least 32 to clarify, because I know for a fact it's more than that, because LeBron takes care of another 8 on his own or whatever dumb number.
That's fair.
Go find it. Go find it, loyal viewers. Go find it.
And don't bother Kevin while he's on vacation.
Channel your inner Kevin.
Wear a hat. Wear a toad hat. Can't stress it enough.
Yes.
Thank you all so much for watching. Remember, like, share, subscribe. Comment down below who you have as the winners of the Western and Eastern Conference Finals. We'll catch you guys next time.
Peace.